Hello everyone on this beautiful day of January 13, 2022. I'm bringing you authentic news from the universe through the Lightline recordings I'm posting here. I promised you to post one on Sunday, but what happened is Michael of Nevadon, our creator's son, asked to destroy the tape because there was a discrepancy with the insurrectionist that he didn't want to commemorate. So I could not post that on Sunday, but I'm bringing you the next recording, which took place on Tuesday, January the 11th. Yesterday I was working on the transcript, kept me very busy, but now I'm here bringing it to you. I put a link into the description box to find the transcript, and you can listen to the message here. I hope you enjoy it. It's about what's going on in the universe, relating to Uranja, relating to planet Earth, and also about the wireless electricity. Now, if you have listened to the January 2nd recording, that was the first Lightline on Sunday in 2022, then you have heard something about it, and I think that is very important to know. And here you can hear some more. Not many people listen to the entire message. They got up early, judged it unworthy. It's a new way of communication from the Father, and we have to get used to it, that he can speak any kind of way. And so if you can get over that hurdle, that transmitting is not something that we are very much used to, but in fact is the primary way of communication that the Father approves, then you will be blessed by it, because we are bringing daily news to you from universal perspective. Praise the Lord. So I hope you enjoy it. God bless you, and I'll see you next time.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Lightline USA for Tuesday, January 11th, 2022. This is Phyllis Simpson, your host for today. No co-host that I know of. And we'll get started by asking if we have an MC for today's call. Yes, Phyllis, this is Targus. Welcome, Targus. Very, very happy to have you with us today. Thank you for being our MC for this Lightline. Please go ahead. You're welcome, Phyllis. It's always my pleasure to be in attendance with the Lightline calls. Currently, you have 3 on your streaming service and 18 callers. I would like to start off this Lightline call today by saying we are still somewhat in the throes of the planetary emergency situation that you were informed of on Sunday. With the information that we gave you, you can, I'm sure, imagine all of the turmoil and upheaval that we are continuing to fight against, and even the situations where the insurrectionists are pushed back and silenced. There is still a lot of work for us to do to reinstate that which they have been making it a point to disturb and disengage proper workings and interfere with protocols having their full effectiveness. But we are, of course, on the ball. And we are, of course, dedicated, as you are, to seeing these missions come through to Uranja, not only in a timely manner, but in a manner that takes full advantage of all of the changes that Father has made to the new universe age and its operations. We're talking new beings getting used to their functions, their roles, and their mandates, as well as the protocols that need to be in place for them to work cooperatively with other groups of beings that have been around since the previous universe age. As I'm sure you can understand, there is a need for all of this to be combined and intertwined and make the connections necessary for maximum function and ease, accountability, and cooperation with each other in manifesting the details of the Father's will and how he would have this new universe age proceed, and which is especially important to you on Urantia, that your planet and its peoples make progress towards light and life. And adding to all that, as you understand, there is the setting up of the dominions, which is a bringing together of many local universes, such as you have with the Federation of Dominion under the current leadership of your creator son, Michael of Nebadon. All of these are ongoing circumstances that entail a great deal of reorganization and establishment. And just as you see your planet physically and daily going through the interference and interruptions that the pandemic alone is causing to each of your lives, all of the inner workings of your local, your national, and international societies. You can well imagine the web of issues that are constantly needing to be addressed, untangled, and settled in to new way of thinking and being as you all are making your own adjustments to the circumstances worldwide of a pandemic on your very daily lives, and how you need to adapt and pivot to make your daily functions continue as you have need be. And that is such a similar situation on top of it that is taking place with the new universe age, with the insurrectionists, with the cabal. It is certainly a time of great upheaval, a time for need of great patience within each of your lives and amongst those with whom you dwell and you have relationships. And again, is that parallel between your visible circumstances and our situation in the spiritual realm, between all of the spirit beings who are attempting this same manifestation of working with changes, adapting and readapting to those changes for the best of Father's will to come to pass. This indeed is causing yourselves and pushing ourselves to a new level of adaptability and cooperation. And in my opinion, that can be extremely beneficial to yourselves, for those who will stay the course, and for us as well. For with adaptability and choice of cooperation, again, you find and you reap the benefits of personal growth. And that is always a great way for those who will be in their ascension careers, for you to start here and now as you have been, in cooperation and patience and endurance. And indeed, along with that, you have all encountered long suffering, which is something none of us look forward to, but we all are aware of the real beneficial results of those who keep their cool, keep their patience, keep their minds open during long suffering. That opens many to the influence in a greater way of your thought adjusters and causes many to seek the will and the ways of the Father to a greater degree than they previously have. This is not new information for you, but this is a reminder from one such as myself who can stand as an observer of the effects of all that is transpiring. For indeed, out of what seemingly seems to be chaos can come great enlightenment and personal stamina and potential growth. This is Tarkus, and I just want to encourage once again each and every one of you. I see we now have 21 callers as well as the 3 that have joined us during the streaming service, and amongst the callers are 4 who have joined this call via the web streaming service. And thankfully today the phone streaming is holding up well. Thank you, Tarkus. I take a moment to reconnect and ask you what you would have if there are any other speakers for us at the moment. This is Tarkus Phyllis. I am doing a check. One moment, please. Yes, I sense Michael of Nebadon is here to bring a word to you here on this light line. Thank you, Tarkus. Please go ahead, Father Michael. This is Michael of Nebadon, whom you know as your local creator son of the local universe of Urantia, and the current appointed head of the Federation of Universes known as Dominion. There's definitely been a large contingency of beings extremely active on this planet since your Lightline call on Sunday. There's a lot of information for the moment. We are keeping close to our breast for reasons of state. What I do ask is that you yourselves continue to be vigilant, as you have done such an excellent job of, and continue also to uphold the Father's will with your thoughts, your intentions, and your prayers, that His will does come into full effect on this planet of such grievous interference, and a planet which has been so greatly affected by all of the changes from the Luciferian rebellion through to the need for a new universe age and the continuous woes which have affected us and you. And unfortunately for all of us, this has been right in with the timing of the proposed missions. And they continue to desire to interfere in any way that they can. And we do not want to give them any information that would assist them in their endeavors. This, I understand, can be a very frustrating time for you. But as Tarkus mentioned earlier, I do commend you for your steadfastness and for your willingness to stay the course. And we also shall absolutely stay the course to bring the Father's will about on this planet. I turn this over now to Makaventa Melchizedek, and I step back now as your creator son. Thank you, Father Michael. Welcome, Makaventa. Thank you for joining on this call. Please go ahead. Thank you, Phyllis. As you can well imagine, each and every one of you, as planetary manager for Urantia, the challenges have indeed been piling up. The experiences that I have had through the connection with the establishment of planetary management, specifically on Urantia, is certainly adding a lot of steadfastness to my being as well. You have a little bit of my history for my time spent on your planet, and indeed the continuing interest I have with this planet, Urantia, and myself and my comrades, my fellow Melchizedeks, never expected all of these changes so major, and yet they affect everything down to the most minute detail of what we intend to do and what we are aware of is the Father's will for this planet. It is certainly a good thing that I have had the experiences that I do, and still it is extremely challenging for us. And yet who knows how much of this experience all of us, including yourselves, of course, are going to be benefiting from through the ongoing need for pivoting during a situation where so much needs to be done and so much preparation has been brought to the table only to be undone by the rebels and the insurrectionists and the Luciferian influence on and around this planet. Such unconscionable deeds have transpired, and it is indeed the grace and the enlightenment and the strengthening of our Heavenly Father that keeps all of us going, that keeps all of us in a path of expectancy and peace, knowing that Father is not only on our side, but unwilling to give in to the demands made by those who want to completely usurp His free gift of free will. This is such an important issue to the Father, for He has specific plans that He has put into the lives of His free will beings for those who will cooperate with their adjusters and be willing to move forward regardless of circumstances they are currently in and situations for which they can see no way out of what has been put before them. Free will is a specific gift of purpose that Father has granted, and He will not let that go. He will not allow it to be undermined by those who are so determined to ruin the potentials that exist with free will beings. This is Makaventa Melchizedek. I'm stepping back now to return you to your MC, Tarkus. I thank you all, and I wish you for now a good day. Thank you, Macaventa. Thank you for enlightening us and reminding us of the will of the Father and the purpose of the free will gift that He has given, and reminding us of the fact that what Father has determined shall come to pass, and nothing shall prevent it from being so. We all send our thoughts and our energies and our intentions to be in alignment with the Father, with His will and His ways. Thank you so much. This is Phyllis here. I see Ron has joined us. I'm going to take a moment to check with him and see if there's anything he desired to contribute on this light line at the moment. Ron, I'm coming to unmute you. You're unmuted, Ron.
All right. Thank you very much, Phyllis. I just joined. I don't have a thing in my head at the moment. Let me just check a minute to see what they may have in mind, if you don't mind. This is Tarkus, Ron. We do have something very specific in mind, and it's with Machiaventa Melchizedek once more. We are going to produce a transmission of about 4 minutes, Phyllis. Just stand by a moment, please. I am Machiaventa Melchizedek, and you, Ron, have been pushing pretty hard this morning to get a lot out of the way so you could listen to the light line. But as it turns out, we've asked you to join to provide a transmission for the group today that we're going to put through you. I am Machiaventa Melchizedek. I am of various titles, none of which you know about anymore, provisionally, because it is a promotion so high that it is not an office that is revealed to a normal material world. However, one of the things you did this morning, Ron, was write a prospectus to an engineering firm you want to use as to what and how, if they are willing to sign the contract, how to help build the W2P plant. You have rewritten it now at least twice, and you will have to rewrite it no more. You have properly defined those areas you need their expertise on, and Rayson sees the prospectus and says it is excellent and covers actually more than a consulting engineer usually provides. But you are going to have to, Ron, go to Burkhard Horn and ask them to be part of the magisterial mission in a way they are not used to conducting business. No, it won't be in Calico, Ron. The truth of the matter is, we need an engineering firm to produce materials that are confidential. They need to sign a non-disclosure agreement, and they need to understand that your request for legal consultation is only through you, Ron. Do not ask them to provide legal consultation, as they are likely to throw in competing individuals who can create a problem of copy. For that particular reason, everyone, The proposed plant location more or less has been determined. It's excellent. And Ron is ready to purchase the land and to propose the engineering within minutes of having received the resources to do it. For your information, everyone, since you are the ones that have donated so well to keep us going and to allow us the production of a couple books as well as to pay for the patent attorney work, I'm going to share something with you that generally is only for insiders to know. One moment. It is this. Ron has determined that the location of the site shall sit on about 20 acres. That the building itself will have a twofold nature. First of all, it will be executive offices for undetermined uses to begin with. Second of all, it will be the generating plant, replete with generators and electrical production of a continuous stream of 20 megawatts every day, every moment. It will never shut down. Ron has also concluded there must be a backup plant right beside it, for the simple reason that if we throw the switch on the slave generator, it stops all electrical production. And for things like hospitals and emergency rooms, and even for vital information that must never be offline because of an electrical failure, we concur. But we will determine on how that is done, Ron. You smile because all you can see is another row of generators, or at least maybe a bypass here and there, which you don't know how to configure. That is correct. But what we are going to propose is that the backup portion of the Racine electric plant is in not only your area of expertise, but also in that area of expertise by Racine. What are we talking about? Both Ron and Racine, I'm sorry, that's interference, one moment, are fairly good experts. Ron is the fairly good, Racine is the full professional. Experts on pre-particle behavior. Ron knows them pretty well inside and out for what you see on Urantia. But Racine sees pre-particle behavior in the master universe. That's not only super universe level 7, it's also super universe levels 1 through 6. They all use WTP to electrify their worlds. That is millions of local universes full of billions of planets that use WTP. For that reason, Urantia is fairly late in getting this technology to bear. One moment, please. I'm getting a signal. Hold on. This is Tarkus, Ron. Proceed. Thank you, Tarkus. The truth of the matter is that the entire master universe is now wired to see what happens, not only just Urantia, but in the planetary system of Satania. There are 4 more planets who will receive the gift of WTP. Ron's little project is way ahead of theirs, and we're going to use the Urantia WTP example to fine-tune what other gifts we are giving as WTP within Satania. I am now going to say this. The entire matter that is pending, not only for Urantia, but particularly under the auspices of Machiaventa Melchizedek. I am racing, and I temporarily return this to Machiaventa Melchizedek. Please, Machiaventa, go ahead if you wish. Thank you, Ron. A pleasure. I have spoken through Phyllis a little bit earlier. You came in on the very end of it, Ron, due to things you had to get done before you got online. The truth of the matter is, Ron, you have written a prospectus. I thoroughly enjoy what you put it together. I think you are the only one who could have put it together with the very things we need direction from, using the standard electrical engineer practices. You have directed that Burkhard Horn utilize the IEEE Corporation to set worldwide standards for the building and operation of WTP. That is an amazing insight that you have, and it must be utilized well. IEEE should be part of the meeting of all conferences with the electrical engineer. How they may do this is that you have a local engineering outlet in the Susquehanna Valley that you belong to. For that reason, you are to make contact with him once you have resources, and that you and they must approach Burkhard Horn together regarding exactly what they may demand of the engineer. Ron, you will pay through the nose, and we're ready to provide the nose. That's correct. Now, I want you to all understand that Ron has a floating memory of all the things that could be said when in relationship to serious planning. One of the things is to confirm that it's a big deal, and we are not sneezing. We appreciate that. Thank you. So, Ron, I want you to contact IEEE and let them know that you are about to begin the engineering on the WTP Racine Electric power plant. You're not going to do that until you have the money to do it. I fully understand that, and that is being prepared as we speak. The tranches you will receive through the Magisterial Foundation to be transferred to the Racine Corporation is about $16 million. That is approximately what we think it will take to produce Racine Electric on the ground. You have been warned, and you warned yourself, that the customers for WTP outside of Dover Township may have to be forced to use the utility. That will require township, city, and other government cooperation to the hilt. Buchardt-Horn is not capable of covering the federal government, the state government, and local municipalities. But you can. We are going to suggest that the following be utilized. Hire a production firm such as, are you speaking electrically? Yeah, well, our local firm would be Metropolitan Edison, and there is Edison, and there are other names associated with different areas for supply. I don't quite know unless we go through IEEE. That is precisely what we're talking about. Get IEEE lined up to obtain all interests in the production of electrical activity so that we have an idea who to approach and how to see to it that this is like connecting to the sewer and not just a voluntary connection. It's important, and you understand why. I do. Finally, I have looked at what you have produced, Ron, with regard to the prospectus. It more or less modifies what I have been thinking about myself. And for that reason, I am not going to modify what you wrote. It's precise and excellent. However, we must modify one small area, and that concerns the legal consultations. You find it likely that Buchardt-Horn and its electrical engineers already know those conduits into electrical legal issues. And for that, I congratulate you for even thinking of it. But Buchardt-Horn has no real expertise when it comes to the attorneys themselves. What you will rewrite in that section is that they are to supply you with their best estimate of the best legal advice on electrical matters and utilities they can find. All right, will do. Thank you. Furthermore, you have produced 2 copies. Produce 2 more copies when you modify it, so there are a total of 4. When you get the resources, you are to email to Buchard Horn, to their chief executive, a copy of the request for engineering services and a copy to the IEEE person you are in contact at the headquarters. All right, thank you. Now this, Dover Township is going to have to bear the brunt of worldwide speculation and use of the Racine Electric power plant. You are to recommend to Dover Township that they supply the police department and security around the plant. In return, you propose that you will pay Dover Township 1% of the gross receipts of the Racine Electric plant. Let all else settle in as to how they will do it. We fully feel that the money generated for the first year of operation will provide Dover Township at least $12,000 to $15,000 a month. In its full production, it will be in the neighborhood of millions of dollars a year. You will inflate their tax income to where they need not tax further. I am not going to insist that that be written right now, Ron, but provide a prospectus to Dover Township as well as IEEE. Let's see what we come up with. In the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, with the assignment of the engineer to the project, the magisterial foundation is now visible, and it will provide all of the changes to the United States government as well as to the rest of the world when that is signaled to be done. We thank you, Ron, for tuning in and taking this very important bit of information for all concerned. Ron has asked me, for your own edification, when do we think we will have engineering services and the magisterial mission is visible? We suspect that may be mid-February. We grant you all well. I am Machiaventa Melchizedek, and I assign this back to Tarkus. Thank you, Machiaventa Melchizedek. This is Ron. Most appreciated. And yes, Tarkus, please, go ahead. Thank you, Ron. I am Tarkus, and we are now rapidly approaching the end of this particular light line. I have one more subject to cover with Ron dictating it. It's this. Today we noticed that the entire use of the internet is being randomly supplied by local municipalities instead of a national concern that oversees the internet and its production to your computers. We know the reason for it, and it is not to be concerned. However, Ron, you said to yourself this morning, I could kill those designers. They make it so difficult to do routine things with the internet. I think they need to go back to school of how you actually use it. We fully agree with that, Ron. But also this. Your use of the internet is seldom done fully. You have a switch that allows you to go out of network and never be seen or picked up by neighbors. You do that wisely and well. Today, the network that you do not use does not fully exist if you go to turn it on. We want you all to know that the internet will be primed for much better use under the Regency. And Ron reminds me of something else you really ought to know. We have made a suggestion to the Biden administration personnel that a divine intervention is pending. Other than the dumb looks we get resistance. Ron knows the details because Michael dictated them to him this morning. But it is this. Your President Biden is not about to relinquish any power to a Regency. That will have to be adjusted, and he will have to learn that his son, Beau, is fully for the Regency now and should have a little talk with Beau. President Biden desperately misses his son. Maybe this will help. We now give this back to you, Phyllis. I am Tarkus, and Ron passes it back to you. Thank you, Phyllis. Go ahead.
Thank you, Ron. Thank you, Tarkus and Macaventa, Melchizedek, and Rayson. What is your desire for the remaining few minutes of this Lightline, Tarkus? Phyllis, you could open this for questions, but I honestly doubt that there is much information that people would be seeking if they have specific questions at this time. Open it up for people to pose their questions, and if we are able to properly address them, we shall do so. If not, we shall ask them to hold them for another day until more information is available. Thank you. Thank you, Tarkus. Okay, I'm going to, I'll leave you unmuted, Ron, unless you would like. Okay, and I'll ask if anyone has a question to raise their hand. We have a couple of minutes for questions and answers. Thank you for those on streaming and those who have joined us on this call today. I see Roger S., and I'm unmuting you now. Roger, go ahead.
Thank you. I have a question for Ron. And Ron, when you're looking for the 20 acres, I'm assuming that you're looking for a highly visible 20 acres so that people going by on the interstate will be able to see the WTP power plant, and there'll be more talk and discussion about it. Is that a correct assumption?
No, it's exactly opposite what I had proposed. I don't know how we can do that. What I have proposed, I pulled a USGS map. I need as high a land as I can get. In Dover Township, towards its north end, there is something called a couple of high bumps they call the Dover Mountains. Dover Township, as well as where I live, is an elevation of about 450 feet above sea level. But the Dover Mountains allow up to 970 feet above sea level. What I propose is to find a farm that is no longer particularly productive and to purchase either the farm or at least 20 acres to do the construction. I prefer that the plant be secured behind a forest or by other high roads in order to keep the public from just walking in and or driving by to examine something that is rather extraordinary to look at. So, I have prepared to look at the land in what they call the Dover Mountains first. I see there are a couple parcels for sale up there, and one is a small farm I think is perfect. It takes a lot of money, though, to buy it, and I must wait for resources. Does that answer your questions, Raz?
Yes, it does. Thank you, Ron.
You're welcome. Go ahead, Phyllis.
Thank you for that interesting question, Roger. I'm muting you now again. I'm going to do a quick refresh. I see no other hands raised for questions at this time. Thank you, Ron, for addressing that. And I believe we're going to be terminating this Lightline call for Tuesday, January 11th, 2022, and remind everyone to check the schedules for the other upcoming Lightlines that will be held in English and in other languages for all of our benefit. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to be stopping the recording now.